In a world dominated by inkjet printers and FedEx Office, Hammerpress, located in Kansas City, harkens back to a time when printing required true craftsmanship. Using time-worn letterpress techniques and equipment, founder Brady Vest and his crew painstakingly create beautiful works of practical art ranging from greeting cards and calendars to business cards and concert posters. Brady's initial efforts started locally while he was in college.
Basically working with friends that were in bands. That kind of led to an interest in trying to start our own shop and finding equipment, and just basically a lot of baby steps between there and here.
Today, he sells his niche product to individual customers and small businesses domestically and overseas, including the UK, Japan, and Australia. But he also sells to retailers like Urban Outfitters. For Hammerpress, using manual printing presses means giving up the high-volume computerized techniques that maximize profits. So why would the average customer use them over a faster and cheaper computer-based design and print company? Well, besides the knowledge that it was printed the old-fashioned way, the decision really comes down to quality. Hammerpress products have a subtle but unique tactile feel that inkjet printers can't reproduce. The ink is slightly raised, and since older printing presses can handle a wider variety of cardstock, the paper is often thicker. But at the end of the day, Brady still faces formidable competition in a society where people want things fast and cheap. Thus, he has to manage customers' expectations when it comes to premium-priced products.
Fortunately, people kind of come to us because they already know that they want something that's a little bit more of a valuable kind of piece. Occasionally we have to explain why it's a little bit pricier. It's a handmade product. The materials are sort of higher quality materials.
The core challenge that Hammerpress faces is that they offer a value-added product, but they compete in a cost-driven industry. On a fundamental level, Hammerpress's pricing strategy isn't that much different from its computer-based competitors in that they practice cost-based pricing. 1. Hammerpress designs what they consider to be a great product. 2. They add up costs, including both fixed and variable costs. And 3. They set a price that covers the costs plus a target profit. At the same time, Hammerpress prices are higher because the raw materials, ink and paper, are better quality, and the work requires more labor and a specialized set of skills. The pricing challenges that they face also vary by the type of job. Business cards are pretty straightforward, but wedding invitations may often require multiple revisions because couples facing the pressures of preparing for their big day tend to be a little bit more indecisive. If Brady quotes a price and then is forced to continuously reset the type and the design, his costs can spiral. Another type of job came up recently when a bread company, a new Whole Foods vendor, approached Hammerpress to print their packaging. This type of work is normally done more efficiently by specialized printers.
And it was a material that we hadn't printed before. It was a pre-made bag with folds and clasps and stuff.
Despite uncertainty about their production costs, they presented a quote and took on the project. Finally, there are posters which Brady and his team create for event promoters. Hammerpress loves doing this type of work because it is fun and creative, but money is often a problem. Many of the young promoters are cash-strapped. In addition, promoters need the posters prior to the event, and they can't be sure that the event will be successful enough to cover all their costs. Given the variety of Hammerpress projects and clients, and given that they are attempting to compete with a value-added product in a cost-driven industry, how can Brady best ensure his company achieves consistent profitability? There are many price adjustment strategies available to companies, but for Hammerpress, the solution lies in the concept of dynamic pricing. Let's look at a few examples, starting with how they handle wedding invitations and indecisive couples.
Most of the challenge for us is coming up with kind of an estimate for the design hours and putting specific parameters on that they kind of are aware of because there are so many changes.
In these situations, Brady makes it clear up front that the price may increase if the changes go beyond what is allocated in the initial quote. In a similar way, when they printed the first run of packaging for the Whole Foods bread vendor, Hammerpress found they earned little profit due to the complicated nature of the printing process. Fortunately, they had prepared the client in advance that the price was subject to change.
So the second time we were able to kind of renegotiate that price based on the fact that was an experiment.
Finally, there are the posters that are created for the event promoters.
Posters tend to be a little bit of a labor of love of the shop, and so we continue to try to find a space for those.
For these jobs, Hammerpress has come up with a creative pricing methodology. First, they help the promoter to look at the poster not just as a promotional tool, but also as a sellable item. Then they offer 3 pricing options.
We have option A, which is, again, similar to the other sort of methods of pricing. It would be hours of design and then materials and labor for production. Option B, split the posters in half, split the material costs, split the production costs, and split the profits. Option C is we'll just do it on our own dime because we kind of feel like we can sell these over time, give you X amount of posters kind of to allow us to do that. And then basically it's kind of on us to market that and sell it, and it becomes a longer term payoff rather than a shorter term payoff.
Hammerpress has chosen to employ age-old printing methods because they offer higher levels of quality. But offering a value-driven product in a cost-driven industry requires their pricing strategies to be as creative as their printed designs. By understanding his various client demographics and client needs, Brady is able to keep his presses rolling while ensuring that enough black ink flows to his bottom line.
All this beauty is insane and it's wonderful. I love to be alive. On humanity I thrive.